All right, we're live. Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. All right, double honors unto the apostles of GMS, where I learn the truth from, and salutations unto you brothers and you sisters that do take heed. Okay, the title of this lesson is called "It Ain't About Skin Color, Cracka." Okay, um, because one of the things that these people come up, I'm talking about these Edomites. Um, one of their doctrines that they came up with was to divide people by physical appearances. You know, um, that was a thing created by these elites, man, by these Edomites. All right, that was a thing created by these devils, man. And a lot of people, including Jake, they fall into that trap about judging according to skin tone, man, because that was a thing that was not doctrine, if I can say so, in the ancient world. You know, I'm going to start off with 2 Corinthians 10:3, and it says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Right? So our battle is not a carnal battle. Our battle is a spiritual one. Right? Verse 4, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." And as you see, Paul said the weapons of our warfare are not for the Lord to come back and raise us up, man. You know, He's already putting in us, He breathed into us the breath of life. For us to do this, for me to do this, for all the brothers to do this, you have to have the breath of life in you, man. All right, that's something that the Lord has to give to you. As it says, faith is a gift. Um, to the pulling down of strongholds. Verse 5 is the point. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High. Now, in the U.S., you have a thing called, I believe it's called color law or color code, right? Where they have, if the police, for example, they're chasing someone, the police, the water for the scripture, brother. Shalom, you know, I was holding that scripture too, John 7:24. But when the police are chasing someone, right? What do they say? Oh, white male, oh, black male, right? Or brown or whatever they, they have their codes. But according to ancient law, that was not so. To flip everything upside down, man. Esau came to literally be the devil, the deceiver. That's what the word devil means. El diablo, deceiver. You know. And I'm gonna look up this word casting down. Okay, in the Greek.
Strong's G 2507. Kathareo. Kathareo.
Kathareo, which means to take down without the notion of violence, to detach from the cross, polish imaginations. One of these imaginations is, again, um, people are completely bugged out, man. They haven't traveled, they haven't been around the world. You know, they haven't even been to a couple places in the world, and they grew up in one part of the city, for example, like Jake, and when they might see a Latin tribe, they might say, "Oh, he's white because he doesn't have dark skin," you know, or when they see, even like someone like Blake Griffin, his he's not so-called dark, you know. His son, he has no melanin so-called at all. But guess what? It's not about there's two things. I did a lesson on this years ago. I think it's still on my channel about phenotype and genotype. Phenotype is the word phenotype is it means a physical appearance, your outer appearance. Genotype is your genes. Now there's a statement, if I can remember correctly how to correlate it. They basically said people with the same genotype might not necessarily have the same phenotype, meaning different. And that's 100% how the tribes are, the 12 tribes. You can have a Judite man, he looks like a Moabite. The Most High does these things, man, to trip people up, really, to be stumbling blocks. There's a lot of stumbling blocks in the scriptures, man. There's a lot of stumbling blocks in the scriptures. Yahweh Shai, matter of fact, he's a jinn. He's a stumbling block. He's the main stumbling block. Because you have people that don't believe, you have Israelites that actually don't believe in a Messiah. Right? Completely bugged out, man. And the word, let's look up the word imaginations, right? So it says casting down imagination. I'm going to go to the root word. No, they really got it here. It's okay. So back to 2 Corinthians 10, verse verse 5. It says everything and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High. So according to the knowledge of the Most High, right? Doesn't it say that we're we call it? Doesn't it say that we're confusion of faces? You know, she it tells you that Ephraim also is a king without heat, which what happens? The color doesn't change; it stays the same. It doesn't darken. You know, verse 6, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled, man. Right? So again, man, this thing is simple, but at the same time it's not. You know, I remember even people like I said, Edomites might sometimes they come up, man. You know, and they talk about, oh, does my white skin what do they say, man? They say, is it because of my white skin, or I didn't choose the skin was born in? It has nothing to do with your skin, man. It has nothing to do with your skin. Your skin, again, your physical appearance was an indication of who you were, right? That's why when Esau came out, they named him Esau, Ishashwa, meaning wasted away is he, his pigmentation, and your nation was called, Esau's name was changed to Edom. The word Edom in Hebrew, Adawam, meaning red, right? Meaning the blood shows forth through your skin. Now again, um, these Edomites come up and they say, oh, is it because of my skin? That has nothing to do with your skin. That's the thing you devils created. I'm going to get it in this book. All right. This is Babylon Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. Okay. And we're going to go to page, not classify races according to skin color. Right. Now, there's the next book I had. I don't have it here. I hope a brother has it because I think I lent it to him. But it's called something to the lines of the Hebrew Israelites. It was written by a woman. She knew she was an Israelite. All right. But I guess she was she was like a Messianic Jew or something to that effect, man. But that book, a brother showed me that book and it costs a lot of money. Yeah, I found it right here. It's called The Truth About Black Biblical Hebrew Israelites. Right? By, damn, it's not even showing me the author. But it says on Amazon.com you can get it from $13.95. Okay? It's by a woman, though, Ella. It's kind of blurred. I believe it's Ella J. Hewley. Yeah, Slakia. Ella J. Hewley, right? Now, in this book, too, they go in about how the ancient peoples did not classify races according to skin color, the ancient races, because it all had to do with your genealogy, man. You know, that's why people sometimes they walk with banners, the house of their, that's Satan. People knew you by the house of your father. If brothers watch that show, Game of Thrones, they show you that. Oh, he's of the house of Lancaster, you know, or the house of whatever, you know, and it went by their fathers, man. That's how people classified each other. You know, that's why Paul, his nationality was a Jew, an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. But guess what? He was known as a Roman because he had Roman citizenship, but he wasn't a Roman by nationality, right? That's the thing that people get messed up. Oh, I'm American. That's my nationality or race. White. There's no such race as white, man. You know? So back to the book. It says, the ancient people did not classify races according to skin color like the modern nations of Europe and America, because that's a thing that came through the Renaissance. The Renaissance brought this forth, man. And the Renaissance was a time when Esau, the Caucasian, so you can understand, the word Caucasian means dweller of the Caucasus Mountains. They came out into rulership, into power. And they, again, like I said, their job was to deceive the world, man, as it says in Revelations 21. And they have done that. They have deceived you people, right? And that's why another thing, Slakia, what's that devil's name? Willie Lynch, man. His doctrine was one factor of his doctrine, a big one, was to divide Jake according to tones of skin. You know, if you're what they call red bone, light skin, right? Versus if you're dark skin. and there was a division with there, and Jake has that to this day, man, to this fucking day. When it wasn't so in the ancient world, man, people, it wasn't even a thing, you know. That's a thing that Esau created, man, by doctrine, right? Um, the ancients, including the Greeks and Romans, identified people according to their national or tribal names, right? They used such names as Visigoths, Vandals, Saxons, Ethiopians, Carthaginians, Jews, Arabs, Persians, Babylonians, Egyptians, and Moors. They did not use the term Negro, which is a modern term, to refer to the black races, or the word Caucasian to refer to the white races, because again, Caucasian was during the time of from after Kagan Bulan in 40 AD. They were put they got ran up in the mountains, like, known as Khazars, which is where Khazar means wanderer, and they were put up in the mountains, and that's when they were known as Caucasians, dwellers of the Caucasus Mountains. So again, it changes, man. All this shit changed. Though I'm American, I'm Canadian, right? Because the word American goes back to the word Amerigo Vespucci, which the word Amerigo is a Latin word meaning bitter, right? Canada, is the word in the tribe of Gad, all right, which are known as the Haudenosaunee people of the Longhouse, all right. But they say that Canada is the Iroquois word Kanata, meaning village, but really the word Canada, it goes back to the word Canaan or New Canaan, because when the Gad came, they understood that, let us keep our laws here. That's what Gad said. So let us keep our laws here. Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, Simeon, all the other so-called 10 tribes, right? They came to this part of the land, Canada, and it's like North America, if you will, and they named Canada after Canaan. That's what the word Canada means. But again, people say, "Oh, I'm Canadian." You're not Canadian, Well, I'm American. I'm whatever. I'm Colombian. I'm Colombian. Colombian means is named after Columbus, Christopher Columbus, man, a devil. So how the hell are you Colombian, man? Puerto Rico means port of riches, right? There's a lot of riches, man, and who labored for those riches is you fucking Puerto Ricans. Free labor, slavery. You were slaughtered, massacred, and killed. And now you're calling yourself Puerto Rican. Or I'm Hispanic. Hispanic goes back to Spain. Or Latino, Latin. Latin really represents the language, which the language Latin, again, it originates in Rome. Right? If you speak Latin, you're really talking about Southern Europe, Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, because all those languages are dialects of the old Latin, right? So again, it's foolish to go under these banners, right? So down here, page 21, again from Babylon Timbuktu, it says, this is the devil that brought this forth. It says, Johann F. Blumenbach, all right, because the Renaissance started from after the bubonic and pneumonic plague around 1325, 1350, and then you had these, 2/3 of Europe of Jake wiped out, and then basically you had the Renaissance occur, and you had different dates. You had was a 14, I forget the date when Granada fell. Of course, you had 1492, right? 1491, 1492 when Columbus came over here, right, under the help of the Moors. Granada was a little before that. The word Renaissance means rebirth. That's when the rebirth of these devils started happening, right? They started coming back into power, right? Slovakia. Okay, there. All right, so it says, was the first, so again, Johann F. Blumenbach, a German, was the first to divide humanity on the basis of skin color. And that's why there's a good book called Nature Knows No Color Line. Because in that book, they show you a lot of Jakes, a lot of Jakes that mixed with German women, right? A lot of Jakes in World War. There's a lot of Israelites in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, just like there's Jakes today in Iraqi, the Afghanistan War, right? They're in active duty. We're talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. So again, you had a lot of Israelites back in World War I, World War II. They went over there. and then women love them. The French woman, the English woman, the German woman, and guess what they did? They seduced the men, because that's what these other nation women do. That's why it says in Deuteronomy, do not marry them, man, because they're going to seduce you to follow their gods. You know, but when the children came out, a lot of them came out looking like their mothers, man. Again, and just like when I was talking about the phenotype and the genotype, a lot of times you might get your phenotype from your mother. So, like I said, Blake Griffin, his mother is Irish, red hair, freckles. His father is dark skinned Haitian, which is a lot of it is from his mother. And then he married an Edomite woman, a blonde hair, a blue eyed woman. His son came out with leprosy on his skin and his hair. He had blonde hair, blue eyes. That's recessive genes. But guess what? Guess what? He's a Levite, man. He is an Israelite. All right, he's an Israelite, man. Hey, that's why I said it's simple, but you Jakes, you guys are you come and then there's this fucking roadblock. You know, there's like a wall, and you just hit. You know, you just okay, and boom. Okay, I get it, and then boom. And that's really the angel blocking you from understanding this, man. It's a beautiful thing. You know? It says, up to this time, no such attempts had been made. His classification set up a color line to the detriment of later generation. Let's look up this word detriment. Simple dictionary.com. Detriment, the state of being harmed or damaged, to cause harm or damage. So why was it set up to for the detriment of future generations? Because with this doctrine, you cause more confusion. This is why America is Babylon the Great. Confusion the Great. Babal. That's what the word Babel means. It's like when someone's babbling. You don't understand what the hell he's saying. Right? And they call us babblers, man. They call Paul a babbler. Right? When the Stoics and the Epicureans were sitting and Paul came, they said, let's see what this babbler is going to say. Because they couldn't understand this, man. Right? That's why it says again, man, I'm going to get this. In Matthew, one of my favorite scriptures. This is the book of Matthews. Let me see. We're out here, man, showing you this truth. Right? This is Psalms 58 and 3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So again, it's the code, the nature, the genetic code, the Most High putting you devils, man. That's why from a baby, you know, these devils like to say, oh, you can grow up racist. You can be learned. You can be taught these things. Right? That's a lie. Because again, yeah, you can be taught, but there's a lot of situations where these devils might grow up. Oh, I'm fine. You know, I wasn't taught that. But then an Israelite comes around, a black, a native, or Latino, so-called, right? And you feel uneasy. Or you start moving sideways. Counterpart to your Edomite brother, man. It happens because it's in your nature. You are estranged from the womb as a devil, man, as a wicked being. And again, that's why it has nothing to do with skin color, right? They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear. Adder is a very poisonous snake. So again, it's describing these devils as serpents. And guess what? Genesis 3, right? And it says, you know, you Edomites, there's really like three or four Edomites that kind of come up. The ones that know us, they don't say shit. They just walk. You know, you got the drunk Edomites coming from the Blue Jays game or the Raptors game. Hey guys, what's going on here? You know, Red Devil, proud as hell. Or you got those so-called scholar Edomites. Yeah, you got those scholar so that come up and try to make us talk through the scriptures. We bring out the scriptures, and then they say, no. I know what that's saying. I want to know what you think. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what we think. All we're doing is professing the scriptures, and we're not talking out the tower, right? Verse 5 is the point, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. And that's the brothers, man, on the highways and byways. They're not hearkening to our voices, man. And we're not out there for them. I'm just bringing out the fact that, again, if a person that comes up looking like an Edomite hears this word, that all right. But we're gonna keep pushing through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And we're charming, man. We're charming these words. We're singing the song. You know, we're doing this great work through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But these, and again, like I'm saying, if a man comes up and he might look like a heathen, but he's getting this word, he's understanding it, right? Then guess what? He can be an Israelite. This is Luke 7:31. And it says, and the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you, and ye have not wept. And that's Jake, man. That's talking about Israelites. We're piping, we're playing this beautiful song, right? We're playing this beautiful song, this tune, right? And you can't get it. You're not mourning. We're telling you about these atrocities and all these things that are that happen and are going to happen. You're not mourning, right? We have piped unto you, you have not danced. You're not happy. The word gospel means good news. We're telling you about the kingdom, but you're going to be rulers. You're not dancing. You're dancing for Esau. So back to here, his classification set up a color line to the detriment of later generations. Mr. Blumenbach classified 5 chief races of mankind: the Caucasian, the Mongolian, the Ethiopian, the American Indian, and Malayan. So again, it's bugged out, man. He set up this shit, and this is what your anthropologists and your top what's another field does? Not sociology. I forget the field, but again, your top so-called scientists and all that, your historians, now they classify, oh, he's white, he's brown, he's this. And they keep changing. I'm sure they already changed it, right? But this was the foundation, as it says: the Caucasian, the Mongolian, which is the Asians, the Ethiopian, which is just all black people, and the word Ethiopian is a Greek word, Ethiops, which means burnt face. Okay, so he's talking about all so-called dark people: the American Indian and Malayan, which is like, I guess, the Malaysian South Pacific peoples. Which is bugged out, man. Moreover, he considered the Caucasian to be the original race. Blumenbach, the anthropologist, named the whites after the Caucasus Mountains. These mountains are situated between the Black and Caspian Sea because he thought the purest white people originated there. You see that, man? The reason for him calling Caucasians, which that's not their nationality, you were not even Khazars. That's a name put upon you. Again, the word Khazar means wanderer. You were Edomites through your various tribes. Amalek being the chief, who's pretending to be so-called Jews today. The phony, the imposter. But he put that term white, because when you look up white in dictionary, it means pure, righteous, good. When you look up black, what does it mean? Bad, void of light, void of understanding. not so again, he titled those Caucasian peoples Edomites white because he thought they were the purest. And that's a detriment, man. And I'm going to end it off on this. This is John 7:24. The brother brought it up, but I'll bring it again. This is judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment, man. And righteous judgment is according to the spirit. All right? It's according to the spirit, man. It's not according to your feelings. You know? And this goes out to you brothers of confusion of faces, man. Don't be dismayed. The scripture says don't. Matter of fact, I'll get it in the second Ezra's 15. Right? The incredulity, that's the word. Don't fear incredulity. Incredulity is unbelief, unfaithfulness. You tell somebody this word and they laugh at you. You know, or again, brothers with confusion of face, brothers, man. You know, oh, aren't you white? Aren't you Chinese? Aren't you? You're not an Israelite. Don't be discouraged, man, because this is a very special thing the Lord has to bestow upon you. A heathen cannot get this, man. A heathen can't understand this. You know, he can't get the gift of faith. Right? This is 2 Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of, like again, the words of prophecy. I remember one time someone said, oh yeah, again, the Latinos are not Israelites. Only blacks are Israelites. But they never talk about. They'll say, oh, a so-called person that looks white is white, but they'll never talk about the other side of the tares and the wheat. That a guy that looks like Wesley Snipes, he could be an Edomite because his father can be an Edomite, and his mother could be a Jake, and he came out looking again like the phenotype of his mother. They never talk about that side though, right? Back to my point, they were saying, oh, Latinos are Israelites. So he said, oh, he brought up a point about, um, let a Latino go to an all black neighborhood and talk about the black woman, or talk about black people going off, or use the word nigger, or all this shit. And they're trying to make these hostile situations. Well, guess what? The Lord is going to raise up men, and He's already raising up men. What am I saying? He already raised up men. Go to LA. You have brothers that are black and Latino in that camp, even Gadites. San Francisco, the Bay Area. You have Judah and Ephraim. You have the two kingdoms coming together, man. So this is not about the phenotype, man. The Lord said, Israel is as a speckled bird unto me. The word speckled means variegated colors, man. Various appearances, so to speak. Verse prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And we're reading the papers right here, man. See, this is the Apocrypha. This is the scriptures, man. We're reading it. Verse 3, fear not the imagination against thee. Oh, people talking shit, scoffing at you. And the beautiful thing is, you're not scoffing at us, because these are not our words. I didn't write this. I didn't make this up. Okay? These are powerful words we're reading through our Creator, man, the Most High, and His Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right? And people imagine all kinds of things. So you're scoffing at the word, man. You're going to be destroyed. Matter of fact, I'll get that in Proverbs. The book of Proverbs. Proverbs 13:13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded, man. See that? So all those people that are scoffing at the word, that's why it says don't fear the imaginations, man. Because these people imagine, hey man, these people walk by, they give us some people, man. You gotta watch around. You gotta look. You can see those looks that they give you, man. I wish these motherfuckers died, man. They're looking at us some people are real witches. They're sending up curses as they walk by. Hey, some people walk by, they make gestures with their hands, man. You don't know what the hell they're doing. They could be casting a spell on you. So these people imagine very horrible things. I remember one time on the comment board, someone said, why doesn't Toronto police come and slap these guys with fines and arrest them? Well, guess what, motherfucker? The cops did come up, and the Spirit of the Lord rose up a standard, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua protected us, man. The angels were round about us, man. All right? So don't fear these things. These are really light things at the end of the day. Okay? So back to 2 Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right? That's why it says a prophet hath no honor. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that because maybe people you grew up with. Oh, you're not Israelite. Talking all kinds of mess, man. But guess what? The Lord rose you to a much bigger job, man. He rose you to a much bigger goal. If He rose you up, He's dealing with you, man. If you can see, if you can really see in, like in the movie, damn, what's that? One of my favorite movies, man. Brother Howard made a show on it. You live, man. If the Lord gave you those so-called spiritual glasses to see the world, man, that's not. Hey, listen, man, you're not. This word goes beyond conspiracy theories, because in the world I used to be in the conspiracy theories before it came in the truth. This thing is 10 times deeper, man. This thing gives you fucking X-ray vision, so to speak. Right? One second. John 4:44. For Yahushua himself testified that a prophet hath no honor in his own country. Right? Because why? Because when the Lord, he was growing up there and people saw him. And then when the Lord picked that day and moment and time and hour and second, to raise him up to, he was a carpenter. He was a carpenter's son. He was working. They seen him grow up as a child, and then here comes this man saying, "I'm the son of the Most High," and doing all these great works, and people are talking shit because they knew him. So again, people in the world might know you, and whatever the fuck you're doing in the world, now you come in this word, and again, the Lord picked a day and time. Either you saw brothers online, you walked by the camp, or whatever the situation was. You presented this word, and the Most High unlocks your mind, and He sups with you. He knocked at the door, you opened it, so to speak, pursuant to Revelations 3:20. And people, oh, now, people in the world, oh, look at this guy. Who does he think he is, or he's crazy. What the hell is he doing? Because the Lord picked that time, and guess what? No, you're a new man now. You're different. You're special. So then people are gonna talk shit about you, especially if you're a so-called confusion of faith, man. Back to and again, the word incredulity means lack of faith or not believing. So it says, "Fear not, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." Point blank, man. Point blank. Period. That's it. That's the end of the line. That's the end of the story. Right, and that was really it. So again, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I want to say Kal Halal La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS who I learned the truth from, the great men upon earth. And salutations unto you brothers and you few sisters that do take heed. I hope you are edified. Until next time, I say Shalom.